Welcome back to HIM tutorials as digestion and absorption is going on under the main heading nutrition in animals, and today we are going to learn about the objectives, that is large intestine and anus. So without much delay, let's start with the diagram first. As this is the outline structure of the large intestine. This is a finger-like projection. And these diagrams I am definitely think that going to help you out in your learning, because it's very much important to know that what actually we are going to learn. So it's important to draw the structure first. So this is your duodenum part, which helps in digestion of the food, and then the food comes into the small intestine, as in jejunum and ileum. And now we are going to label it. This is vermiform appendix. This is a vestigial organ. We will discuss why it is called as vestigial organ. Then this pouch like structure is caseum. Now this part, that is the colon part, second part of the large intestine, it is divided into four parts, that is the ascending colon, now this is your transverse colon, this is your descending colon, this is sigmoid colon, this swollen part is rectum, this tube-like structure is anal canal, and this round structure which help in passing out of feces, that is anus. So these are the main outlined structures of the large intestine, and now we will discuss about the functions and little bit more illustrations about the large intestine. So large intestine is almost a short tube, broad tube, and it is 1.5 meters long, as much smaller than the small intestine, because small intestine is approximately 6 meters long, but here it is 1.5 meters long. There are three main parts of large intestine. First is cecum. Now cecum ends up into a finger-like structure that is called as vermiform appendix, and the cecum is actually pouched structure. It is a small pouch-like structure, and it is not very well developed in case of humans, and it is a vestigial organ. Vestigial organs means that kind of organ which is present inside the body, but it doesn't do any function, it doesn't help in any function. So it was during the evolution that when we have evolved from the apes, might be the condition is that this cecum is providing us some function, because our ancestors eat raw food and uncooked food, but as we evolved as a modern man, we learned to cook food and then we learned to eat the food. So that's why this cecum is very you can say small in size, and it has lost its function almost in case of humans. Now the cecum, in case of cecum is present in mainly ruminants, and ruminants are those animals which help in digesting the cellulose. Cellulose is digested by the enzyme cellulase. So humans does not have this cellulase. So that's why it is not possible for us to digest the cellulose, and cellulose is present mainly in grass and it is a polysaccharide, so our body is not able to digest such a polysaccharide. So that's why the cecum is little bit reduced to a pouch like structure. Now the next main part of the large intestine is the colon, and the colon is divided into 4 parts, that is ascending colon, then transverse colon, then descending colon, and then sigmoid colon. As food, the undigested food or the absorbed food comes from the ileum part of the small intestine, and this sphincter is called as ileocacal sphincter, as it very regularly managed and very orderly managed. This sphincter opens up and it sends the food from the small intestine or you can say from the ileum into the large intestine. Okay, now food will move from this direction to the transverse colon and then again to the descending limb of the colon, and then it stores into the sigmoid colon. So the main function of the large intestine is to absorb the water, and also it absorbs such kind of nutrients which was not absorbed in the small intestine. So mainly the function of the large intestine is to absorb water, because if the absorption of water will not take place, then it would not be able for us to circulate the many fluids in the body easily, and if the matter, or you can say if the undigested food which is present in the your large intestine prolonged than the 36 hours, because it takes almost 36 hours to move the undigested food from all the limbs or all the parts of the large intestine. But if it stays more than 36 hours, then more absorption of water will take place, and that time the undigested food which is present in the sigmoid colon, that will lead to little bit harder, or that is called as, that condition of the undigested food is called as constipation. Okay, and the third part of the large intestine is the rectum. Rectum helps in temporarily storing of fecal matter. Okay, so the almost undigested food which was converted into feces, that fecal matter stores into the rectum for some time, and when there is urge that we want to pass out this fecal matter out of from our body, then with the help of last part of the alimentary canal, that is anus, the feces or the undigested food comes out from our body in form of feces. So this is all about the function of the large intestine and the anus. And also I want to add here that the rectum and anus, they are connected with each other with the common you can say sphincter, that is called as anal canal, and when we want to pass out the undigested food from our body, then that time the anus will pass out the food in form of feces. So we have learned the digestive system in humans in detail, that is from mouth to anus, it is called as the alimentary canal. We have started from mouth, then we have go for buccal cavity. In the buccal cavity we have learned about teeth, tongue, palate, salivary glands, then esophagus, which is also called as food pipe. Then we have learned digestion in stomach. Then we had gone for a small intestine. Small intestine has 3 parts, that is duodenum, jejunum, ileum, and after that there is the large intestine. The first part of large intestine is the cecum. Cecum is mainly functional in ruminants which are having cellulose digesting enzyme cellulase in them, but humans does not digest cellulose. So that's why the cecum is a small structure, that is the pouch structure. Then the colon has 4 limbs in it, that is ascending limb, transverse limb, descending limb, and the sigmoid limb, and in all the limbs the undigested food will stays up to 36 hours, and if the prolonged stay of this food take place, then it will lead to a very severe condition which is very uneasy for us to pass out the stool, that is called as the constipation. Then last part of the large intestine is the rectum, and rectum help in temporarily storing the fecal matter, and at last the feces thrown out of from our body with the help of anus. So this is all about digestive system. So to learn the digestive system deeply, see all the series of this digestive system, and up to our next video. Keep learning, keep watching. Thank you so much.